The key to Steve Jobs' genius, I think, is the marriage of creativity with science. He loves to say that when he was a kid, he loved the liberal arts, but then he became an electronics geek. If you look at people in the world today, some are great at technology, like Bill Gates. Some are great at the arts, whether it's, Bono or the Beatles. But Steve Jobs could appreciate both camps, and that is what makes a great 21st century company, but frankly a 21st century economy, is being creative, but also connecting it to the science. Steve Jobs can be really brutal to the people he works with. He can really push them, and some people break under the pressure, but if you're really able to stand up to him, he loves it. They give an award to the person who stands up best to Steve Jobs. That started back in the old Macintosh days in the early 80s. So he can be very, very demanding, but he loves it when people stand up to him. I think Steve Jobs admires people who have great creativity and have a spiritual aura to them. Gandhi, the Maharaji, who was his spiritual leader when he took up Zen Buddhism, but also Einstein, and then people who were great technologists and artists such as Edison and Ford. If you look at the Think Different ads, he picked out every one of those. That Picasso picture, that John Lennon picture, Bobby Kennedy. He wanted to show who his heroes were, and that's what distinguished those Think Different ads. In the late 70s and early 80s, a lot of strands came together in California. You had the hippie movement, you had the free speech movement, but you also had self-awareness and spirituality and Est and Esalen and Zen Buddhism. You also had the computer culture, the wireheads, the electronic geeks, the phone freakers and stuff like that. They tended not to get along too well until the early 80s, when people like Steve Jobs came from both camps, loved reading the Whole Earth catalog, but also loved reading popular electronics and figuring that out. I think that's where Apple comes from, is that mix of the counterculture and technology.